there, Military here, and I have a cautionary tale, but don't worry, at the end, Brian does have a GoFundMe account set up. Basically, he destroyed his van on BLM land, and then he crashed into a police car. Oh my, he was not having a good day. So I met Brian over at Minivan Lee's campsite together, meetup, whatever they're called. And Brian is a nice guy, but Brian has a few health challenges. I'm not going to say anything that anybody couldn't actually see. And I get people all the time that I ask them to go camping and they're like, oh no, I have like a light form of diabetes. I could never go camping. Well, Brian, I can't say that, can I? He actually has a wheelchair, and that's how he gets around. One of his legs is prosthetic. Now I'm going to do a set aside. Okay, a lot of times people ask me to come camp with them, and it's like, if I'm out to dinner with Lee, and I say, well, I have dinner arrangements. I can't camp, it'll be after dark. And oh, that's okay. Just drive on the BLM land after dark. And it's like, no, I have strong boundaries, and people find out I do have strong boundaries, and they're like, you don't change once you set a boundary, which that's true. It's good for me. I'll give you another tale too. And it's good to have strong boundaries. Don't let people try to change your mind, okay? I actually believe and I'll show you a picture at the end. There are these red rocks on the BLM land in Quartzsite, Arizona, and I swear what they do is they start sniffing. Just like that, right? They start sniffing and they're looking for an oil pan. And right as you drive over, they could be over here, right? You could be avoiding them and they're like, boom, and they take out your oil pan, which is a bad thing because then your engine seizes up. So if I can't see where I'm driving and I'll only drive on BLM land during the day, I'm not coming. Don't count on me. In fact, it was funny. I was camping, I think, with Travel Grandma, and wonderful campfire. So I go back to my van. It's probably 8:30 at night, and I'm thinking I can still upload a video because I do it for you guys. And I'm like, oh, I can't get any cell service. I know, I'll just drive to town and upload the video. And it's like, no, don't you do it. Don't you move your van. Why? Because Brian had a big day ahead of him when he was breaking Minivan Lee's camp. And he checked his tires the night before. He checked his engine fluids. Everything was a go. And I think he had to get home to Texas, so he was going to do it all in one day. So he woke up real early to break camp, and don't you know those giant red rocks, boom, right up into the oil pan, and he cracked his oil pan. So as he's driving to the 10 freeway to get on, he notices that his oil pressure's a little bit low, so he pulls over and he puts in about a quart and a half. Then on the 10 freeway, he notices, about 75 miles down the road? Oh my gosh, a low oil warning. So he pulls over and adds another couple of quarts. Now, between me and you, I don't know how many quarts you carry. I know with my old van, I used to carry a lot of oil. That one, oh my gosh, it was terrible. But, what are you going to do when you don't have any alternative? Well, right as he's heading into Phoenix, his vehicle seizes up. It stops running right on the freeway. And, traffic in Phoenix, it's like this. It's pretty frantic. Anyhow, so a cop pulls up, and, this is like 30 minutes later. They got to get him off the freeway. So, the cop's going to lead him. He gets his car to start, but then all of a sudden it seizes up, and bam, and they're going downhill, and he rams the police car. Brian had the worst of worst days. Well, that was until AAA got there. They looked under there and, yep, it's your oil pan. It's cracked. And a new engine would have cost Brian about $7,000. And, it doesn't make sense sometimes. Your vehicle's worth $2,000 or $3,000. It just doesn't make any sense. So what did Brian have to do? First, they got him a truck so he can go home. And he's like, everything I own is in this van, everything. So what he had to do for a tune of $3,100 was rent a U-Haul vehicle to get all of his stuff home. Well, and the truck didn't work out. I'm not sure if you've ever seen how wheelchairs work. The push ones, they break down, but then you got to drive with it right here. So that's not so good. It's very uncomfortable. I've had a friend for years that used to have a push. But so he rented a U-Haul truck just to get home to Texas at a cost of $3,100. And then, well, his little van was getting like 20 miles per gallon. I have no idea what a U-Haul truck costs, but that really drained his emergency fund. He did have an emergency fund, which is good, but it didn't cover all this stuff. So, number one, if you have boundaries, don't set them. But I feel bad for Brian because the only way he can get around is in his wheelchair. He doesn't have a vehicle anymore. So Paul from Minivan Lease Group set up a GoFundMe page. Now, I'm going to put all the information at the end. I'm sorry, I don't know how to do click-throughs or anything, but it's so easy to research. I think his name is Brian DePisa, GoFundMe, easy breezy to find out, or Minivan Lease Nomadic Group. So, all right, so I hope this helps Brian. If you can, share the video. Let's get them rolling again, okay? Yeah, all right. I hope to see you all down the road. I know my nomadic community is kind and big-hearted. All right, bye.